Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Blue Exorcist Season 4 Beyond the Snow Saga. And I overall enjoyed this. We only got 12 episodes on this because that's what it was showing on Toonami for the dub. But a lot of shit happened here. I'd almost wanted it to have been expanded a little bit more to deal with everything because we understood three kind of like demon kind of things kind of going on, becoming kind of just like wanting to experience being kind of like mortal and whatnot, or be within the realm and being kind of like not abstracts but concepts of certain kind of things. Let's see here. Yeah, like the Gregorian and everything that's kind of going on with that. Because it kind of changes up what's kind of going on and seeing what the kind of lore is of the Knights of the True Cross, what's going on with the Illuminati, how they kind of like broke out and what's going on. The main kind of focus here, we get a good amount on Shura, with her kind of bargain with, who was it? Hachiro, yes. And the main kind of bulk is seeing Yukio's downward spiral and how Rin really can't help him because Rin is part of Yukio's whole kind of block thing, and it's like, holy fucking shit. As we also look into other characters as well. Shiemi gets a little bit... Izumo kind of already had her kind of moment, so she's kind of on the back burner at the moment, but Shiemi gets her kind of thing of trying to figure out if she wants to be an exorcist, if she wants to be like her mom, and deal with the store and everything like that. And Ryuji's trying to figure out his kind of passion for being an exorcist, because we're getting to the point that all of them are pretty much needing to take the exorcist exams, and what's kind of going on with that. Rin is trying to deal with his feelings with Shiemi. He does actually ask her out, but they're in a kind of weird kind of spot where Shiemi doesn't know if her feelings are romantic or not, if she feels the same kind of way with Yukio or not, what her kind of feelings are with that, and it's not done in a stupid kind of way, if that makes sense. It's not presented as like, teenagers are dumb and don't know what the fuck they're doing, and all they are a bag of cats and hormones are just stupid, like, I'm gonna go fuck this wall. Shima's trying his best to be like a double agent, and like the whole kind of situation is like fucked up with him as well. No, it is presented as Shiemi not understanding what her feelings are and trying to ascertain them. Izumo does try and help her out by giving her like romance mangas and stuff like that to kind of go for, because she does an impromptu study sessions like, chuck this at. Try and figure out what your feelings are from that. Which I think is actually a pretty interesting and pretty nice approach to kind of go for. It doesn't completely explain what... Like, it's not the best kind of scenario to completely explain your feelings that way, but reading and looking through and talking with other people about their experiences with these kind of feelings does help people ascertain and parse out their own kind of feelings. Now, she didn't want to kind of like fuck up the friendship and stuff like that they have with like Rin, and Rin kind of gets let down and kind of screwed over. And we do get that one demon asshole kind of popping up, because Mephisto's like, yeah, let's kind of do this shit. But we see that everything's kind of going off. We get lightning popping up and saying that, like, yeah, they should be friends with demons, and he's able to do death verses and stuff in a kind of expedited way that gets Ryuji to be like, listen, teach me that shit. It's like, alright, you'll be my apprentice. And then works with him, and him being the eccentric kind of dude really doesn't understand other people's feelings, but wants to protect humans because he likes fucking around in the world. But we see that he does go to extreme lengths and everything of hurting people and torturing people, and Ryuji kind of reels them back in with certain stuff. We definitely see this as they're trying to figure out what was going on with the Blue Knight and what the Knights of the True Cross were kind of what the Order's trying to do, and showing as they're doing their investigation that it is that the Illuminati was pretty much shot out from the Order, and that they were attempting to make vessels for other kind of demons, which actually links to the to their father, well, their adopted father, as that he was one of these vessels. It's like, what the fuck's kind of going on here? And it's really kind of cool to see this kind of going on and seeing Lightning doing his stupid kind of stuff with kind of like fighting other people and then eventually getting arrested towards the end of this part. And it's because I'm not going to say it's like the season finale, even though it's kind of like a season finale and what's kind of presented here, even though there's more to it. It's like the end of the first core, and then the second core going to kind of pop up for it. Let's see. Lightning is kind of crazy. He's like, I got a bag of burgers, keeping an eye on Shima and all his goings on. We see that Yukio is taking the offer from the Illuminati kind of seriously. He feels that he is very weak, and that he has tried to figure out what's kind of going on with his eye, even going to the point of putting himself in deathly danger to kind of learn what's kind of going on. And when we see that kind of flame pop up and those kind of powers, and then learn at the end that like Satan's in his eye and is kind of trying to get Rin to a point so that way he can have a new body, it's like, holy fucking shit. And yet Yukio doesn't yes, I know it's kind of weird. Yukio doesn't see this. It's like, dude, what the fuck's kind of going on here? You need to talk to other people and, like, try and relate to them. He goes gnarly. He tries to hide all of this kind of stuff, and that kind of hits on me because it's usually like, but I'm not doing it like the way Yukio's doing it. I'd do it to, like bother people or anything like that, because it's just how like brought up kind of is like I've been, and Yukio is just like, these people can't help me. It's kind of nuts, even though Shiemi has helped him, and we've seen that in the past as he kind of ran away from home and then ran back to Shiemi's place during everything kind of going on, because he gets to a point where he's kind of going gnarly and pretty much like held a gun to Mephisto because he wanted to learn everything that's kind of going on, and then gets pretty much caught up in an assassination attempt, even though the people are like, oh fuck, he was shot from the front and Yukio's to the side, so and we get to the point that everything's kind of escalating to a point. This was part of the Illuminati's plan because Mephisto was holding back the demons and everything, and then this drops that and starts escalating shit to a certain degree, because Mephisto pretty much was like, yeah, I'm going to have to let go of this fucking thing at a certain point, but it's escalating to where you're seeing demons and they're doing kind of shit, so you have to tell people about it. And seeing the Japanese government try and talk about this, antisocial beings or whatnot, not calling them demons or whatnot, it's like, holy fucking shit. Yeah, just go on. I know demons is a loaded term and everything like that, but if it fits, like, alright, this is what we're dealing with. This is kind of the rules and everything, and just give people the information they need. Don't try and control shit. Mephisto be like, oh god, I gotta let that go. So, we also get in the beginning that Shura has to deal with Hachiro, and the thing is, she's nearing the age where Hachiro, like, we learn that their whole thing is that he made this bargain with, like, one of her ancestors, and that she needed to be beautiful and present a next offspring because she's not immortal, so by the time she's 30, she's got to pop out a kid, and that'll keep that going because Hachiro's in love with her at that kind of prime. It's like, fuck that shit. And she's like, alright, I'm just going to fight your ass for it, as Yukio and Rin kind of back her up and then try and get through. That was a kind of tense one and had a lot of kind of crazy ass fight things going on, fight scenes and everything. Yukio trying to sound like he was making a deal, but it's the beginning of the core, so it's showing the underpinning of what he's attempting to do to gain more power. The thing is, they succeed and pretty much back him down to like small power level. However, this screws them over a little bit because the Illuminati find him, and Shura doesn't retain his powers and everything anymore, but the blade that she's got is a vessel. We see Lightning helping her out with that as she's able to take on a Cyclops that's kind of going rampage mode as all the demons are kind of popping up and doing kind of crazy ass shit. Let's see, we'll do that. Yeah. Going into the Blue Knight and the whole kind of immortality and everything, people being in Mornath contracts that kind of screw everything over. And Mephisto convinced Lucifer to pretty much build a research facility for like a new body, kick-starting this whole kind of Illuminati kind of thing. And they accidentally created Satan's physical body with this whole kind of thing. It's like, oh god damn. Christmas party thing one was a pretty good one, as Shiemi tries to do this as like a steam release valve kind of thing, but everything kind of goes to shit, but they still work it out in the end. Rin actually thought that she was dying. She's like, no. And we also see that Yukio is seeing that Ryuji and Lightning are investigating stuff and wants to learn more about their birth. Mephisto pretty much denying him before the whole assassination attempt, whereas he also brings it up to Rin, and Rin doesn't really care that much. However, at the end of the season, he's like, I need to know what's kind of going on, because we see that Yukio is captured, and they're pretty much going to try and do experiments on him, and Rin is like, fuck that shit, gets the group together, they bust him out, and Yukio's like, fuck this, the Illuminati, all of them are the same, but he decides to go up with the Illuminati. That's where Satan pops up and pretty much is acting like an asshole. Rin tries to use the Kuma sword to kind of like stop him, but it gets broken, unleashing his demon heart in him on in a kind of uppered demon form, and we're wondering if he can his body can handle this, and you're thinking he almost dies at a certain point, but then he starts going crazy, and his kind of demonic nature pops out. However, it's not really demonic nature, it's like a repressed kind of stuff, his anger and kind of emotions like that, and Rin having to deal with that. Shiemi doing her best to create a forest wall to protect her and the rest of their allies, which is having an immense toll on her, but Rin is able to pretty much back that fucker off, and it's like, guys, oh my god, are you alright? I was like, shit, and then he kind of like passes out, and we see that Mephisto gets them all set together. Mephisto's alright too. I mean, he got shot in the head, but I mean, it's not as that big of a deal. He's like, alright, here you go, here's his key. He needs to know much about their birth and everything like that. Is able to hide his heart for him as well. We do see that Shura did give them a Christmas gift, relaying that she had met their mother before, as the priest was pretty much trying to pawn her off on the mother to kind of take care of her, but she was like a kind mother and everything like that, kind person and everything like that, and they kind of liked it, but Yukio's like, I need more and more, and understanding what's kind of going on. And you understand that, but it's turned into such an obsession. And I like the balancing act that we've got here, because we see that Rin is trying to be his best self, and is trying to do that in a kind of positive way. Yukio is trying to do his best self and doing it in a negative, obsessive, just spiraling kind of way. And it's interesting that they're both kind of brothers like that and showcasing this. It's your typical kind of thing that you've got, but its execution really works for me. I can understand if that doesn't work for other people, but it's really hitting for me. My only kind of issue is that there's so much kind of loaded in this. We learn about the other kind of Grigori and their kind of bigger kind of elements going into play. I just wish there were kind of more episodes to kind of really unpack this. Now, there might be there's other kind of seasons going on. There's other episodes in this season as well. So those could be answered. It's just like a lot. We've also got a wedding thing kind of going on, which was a nice little diversion, where that's where Yukio pulls a gun on Ryuji to tell him what the fuck's kind of going on. And then he's like, holy fucking shit, I actually did that. This, of course, sets off Ryuji and asks Lightning and what's kind of going on. I was like, holy shit. And then him going to Rin to be like, yeah, your brother's kind of fucking going nuts. And it's interesting to see these people trying to help someone, and then this person just adamantly being a dipshit and not accepting the help of what's these people that support him and care for him. Because we see Shiemi try and do it, and him just go into his mask mode of like, no, I'm fine and alright, and just kind of like escapes and everything. No, he does act more kind of aggressive towards her, and then kind of just bolts, and she's like, oh god damn it, before crescendoing of what's kind of going on. So I hope there's a kind of redemption arc for him, because that's just kind of how I am as a person. I hope for kind of redemption stuff, but it does look like he's going to be a pretty potent antagonistical force and is pretty much being set up as the opposite of Rin. So hopefully Rin is able to figure out what's kind of going on, get more information that'll help out of what kind of goals will be going on. Shima will definitely be a kind of wild card because he can either be a potent ally for Yukio if he goes nutty doo dah nutty day in the Illuminati, or a real good asset to our team of Exorcists of what's kind of going on if he decides to turn on the Illuminati. Now, it's more presented that he is pretty much an ally kind of force to definitely his classmates, even though he has betrayed them and kidnapped Izumo. He did try to look out for her in the Illuminati Illuminati base and trying to make sure that it was the least bad kind of options as possible. However, if you're really a friend, you don't put someone in that kind of position. So he will have to, even though he is presented as wanting to be this kind of spy kind of one, there comes a point at every kind of time that you have to pick a place to stand. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where that kind of works out for him. Because we get the whole kind of funny stuff of him trying to get girls and trying to deal with his family and everything like that. But when push comes to shove, what's he going to pick and what's he going to do? And that's going to be the interesting kind of. So there's a lot of good stuff going on here. Animation quality was good. I loved learning lore about the world, character building, and everything going on with good action. I mean, we got interesting little bit of just Shiemi and Rin dealing with like all these like little this kind of like demon house, and they weren't supposed to burn it down, but it kind of came to a point where they were going to have to burn it down to get out. And it's like, what the fuck's going on? This is a funny kind of little episode, and it's kind of crazy that I can say that with all this shit kind of going on with this. It's a dense motherfucker. So those are my opinions on the season part. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.